What am I sitting on exactly? Like,
do you not like it?
well, I'm just.
I didn't put
It's
it
from
there.
like an ironing board, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't put it there, Emily, didn't I? That's why I always gave it to the guests.
I was just curious. It's nice. I mean, like I just put it there, so now it has a little bit of lower back support,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice because lower back gets sore. Lifting things, moving things.
You need it.
Bending around things.
You need your back to live.
I'm gonna forget though. I wouldn't forget them. I would be on the drive home if I should.
True.
Okay.
So we should be able to find them.
Uh-huh.
You ready to go?
What are you looking for? Is it some shtick, or are you actually looking for something?
No, I have this mint, and I thought it'd be more melted down by now, but
No, you just have,
I can do it.
and you have nowhere to put it
I'm gonna chipmunk it.
in a basement like this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, hello, spider friends.
Spider
It's
friends.
been a while. If you've noticed, well, you haven't noticed because either you're on Patreon or when we release these are all going to be back to back. But you're going to see like 3 instances where we shift look and appearance wise all over, and we've lost a member. Kyle had some tweets, and we had to get rid of them. No, honestly, Kyle, you want to do this?
I'm still here, Dylan.
Yeah. I want to say, because if they literally watched last episode, it's us 3. We've done every single episode.
Yeah.
Kyle's way too busy, and
It's
you know,
heartbreaking, really.
you can just tweet at him if you want to tweet at him. Let me know. I'll let you know.
Does he have a Twitter?
He does. So we can just bombard him
yeah.
like, why'd you leave us? But no, he's just very busy, and we want to finish the series out. So every time we tried to, correlate, it didn't work, or he wouldn't watch the episode, didn't have time.
As a little behind the scenes, these episodes we're about to talk about today, we did end up, well, I at least watched like
I did too.
2 or 3 months ago.
Yep.
2 or 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were going to do one, and then it kind of just got pushed back, and then
Kyle,
here we are.
internal slacker. So, God, I'm going to do it. Oh, I almost have time. And then, blah, blah, blah. So, you know what? We're going to close out the season by ourselves, but that's okay because we want to
Think he'll be back?
No.
No.
I think if he missed these episodes, I'd be like, oh, I'm lost, and blah, blah, blah. And, Kyle, I love the guy. You go around and repeat us so many times. He's very motivated when he wants to be, and the other times, he's, I'm not saying, he says he's busy, but,
We all know what that means.
Yeah,
So.
drug dealing. Walter White said it all
Lots
the
of
time.
drugs. It's not easy dealing drugs.
Mm-hmm. But we're back, so we're going to finish out. We got about 4 episodes left, not of the series, but as far as recordings, because we do them in chunks. So
4 episodes to record, not 4...
I think I just clarified that, I thought, for the viewers.
I didn't know it. I knew what you meant, anyway.
I'm the Prowler, Travis Snail.
I am the Argonian, Dylan List.
And if you've not tuned in this show before, please go back. We have reviewed every single episode of the animated 1994 classic Spider-Man. And here we are, closing off Season 4. We're near. You can see the finish line right there. Everything like that.
We got the Spider-Man game just around the corner.
When this comes out, it'll
be long out.
gone. Yeah. Not for Patreon.
Not for Patreon, people. Shout out to Patreon.
Mm-hmm. So, we haven't done this in a while, but we're going to finish off the series. What did you
You'll
think?
have to first, excuse me for clearing my throat through this episode, in the middle of sickness, and it's so smoky where we live that the recovery of my throat, I just don't think it's going to happen until the smoke is gone, so I'm like over the cold, but like my throat is just going to be fucked for...
Yeah, and if I sound bored and tired, I'm just trying to get rid of this mint. Like, legitimately, I know I kind of sound like unenthused, but I just don't want to either, one, swallow it whole, because...
We need like a mint tray. I feel like all classy podcasts have a mint tray.
Do they?
I don't know. I don't watch many podcasts via video. I pretty much just listen to them. So.
Oh, me too. There's only a few. So we're going to review these episodes, finish off Season 4, and then get into Season 5.
That's some good water.
It is. It's been filtering for days now.
Oh, man. Just filter, put it through the filter again.
I have multiple filters. So what did you think about this episode, the very first episode? We're doing the last 4 Season 4. Return of the Green Goblin. Oh, well, I guess we haven't done this in so long, I forget what I usually do.
We're a little out of it.
Yeah.
I feel like we always start these episodes by saying it's been a while. But every time, I reiterate this, because every time after we record, it's actually been longer than the last time we recorded.
100%.
So I think now that Kyle is, officially...
He's booted those tweets,
He's been removed from canon. I think
we retcon.
We'll probably be able to keep the memory on. Because honestly, it's been hard. This show, it's hard to remember what's going on with all the storylines and characters when you're not watching it, back to back.
Yeah.
But since I watched these episodes about a couple months ago, I think it helped to kind of jog my memory.
Yeah, you don't do that with other shows. You don't just watch the middle season, then wait 6 months, then come back. You know. So
you do if you love the show, but
yeah.
Anyway.
But it's us now. So now it's going to be a bit more consistent. And, you know, for the people that are getting this on for free, they're going to have no idea. They're just being like, oh, you guys were gone for like 6 months, it's back. But there's a long journey. But, you know, we're finishing this show off for you, the fans. We're going to do this. And, you know, go tweet it.
It's already got kicked off Netflix, but I just watched it on some shitty website now. That
also Kyle's
tons
fault.
Of ads.
Also Kyle's fault. We could have cleared this thing so well. Kyle said, no, I want to be on the Spider-Man Retro. I like Spider-Man, you know.
He did not bad.
He almost made it to the end, so you know that's pretty good. So, The Return of the Green Goblin, episode 8, episode 49 overall. Trapped in limbo between portals, the Green Goblin telepathically calls out to his son. Well, we'll talk about that. Harry Osborn, keeping his true identity a secret. He promises Harry that he will see his father soon if he becomes the next Green Goblin. I mean, the men just even. I already have enough troubles with English, and this is adding on to it. Meanwhile, thinking Peter knows where Mary Jane is, Anna Watson unknowingly passes information to the Punisher, who decides to help. When confronted by Spider-Man about the truth, during a skirmish between him and the Punisher, Harry is shocked when the Green Goblin shows him he is his father. Unfortunately, this causes whatever little sanity Harry had left to collapse, making him decide to truly take after his father by continuing as the second Green Goblin. However, he's knocked out and sent to Ravenclaw for help. An angry Norman watches from limbo, but is more shocked just as when the Punisher confronts Peter, and Mary Jane has appeared at the site of the battle, based on Amazing Spider-Man 136 and 137. And again, because we haven't done this well, some of these synopses are just like sentences, and that one just gave you the entire episode. So, what do you think about this episode? So, because obviously it's been a while, but we are big Harry Osborn, Peter fans in a way, for like the meme, I'd say in a way. Yeah. Their friendship is quite the deal. We're big Green Goblin fans. So, what do you think about this episode?
I have to say I really liked this episode. I had a lot of fun with it, even on a rewatch. And I think the main reason is because we've talked about, Harry, he's always been around since episode 1. I don't want to confirm that, but he's been around since at least the very, very near the start. But he's never really had much of an arc. Yeah, he kind of had like that MJ thing, but that felt like just kind of a quick scuffle, and then he went back into being nothing. Mm-hmm. There was like, he was living with Peter for a time, but I feel like we never got to see that. No. And so we've always kind of been disappointed by his
one bit meeting.
Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah, it's like Facebook level like best friends. Yeah. And so I feel like we've never really had that backstory for Harry, and to be fair, we don't really get any backstory in this episode, but it kind of just, it's more of a progression for his character. Mm-hmm. But I quite liked it, and I think even though we've only seen him here and there and not with much depth, I think his transformation into being the Green Goblin is actually like pretty justified. I mean, it's not like he has the best life, and then his father goes missing, his soon-to-be wife gets stolen, or
it was just his girlfriend.
They weren't engaged, right? No, I mixed up Felicia and.
Were they even girlfriend and boyfriend though? Because Mary Jane just kind of treated him like garbage.
She maybe just anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then he was dating MJ, which was already kind of sus in the first place. So then Peter kind of stole him back, and then she disappeared, and obviously he never really got over her. So he's had a rough go at it. And so I think it justifies his turn into being evil, and even throughout this episode, it's not like an instant transformation. Like it still takes a couple. I don't know. He kind of has to get pushed over the edge. It's not like he just immediately jumps. So
madness is like gravity.
You compare that to, and then we also have Punisher in this episode doing some stuff, which just really helped with the pacing and making sure that from scene to scene there was something fun going on. And Punisher, great character. His voice, obviously we've talked about before, is amazing.
Yeah. And
he's always just fun to see what he's doing. And it all just fits into like what's going on with MJ, which leads right back to the end of the episode when MJ finally comes back. So this is a really fun episode. I have to say, like, my memory on the recent episodes isn't great because we haven't done this recently.
Yeah.
But this is probably one of my favorite episodes of this season, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I think I'd have to go. Like, let me do a quick. Anyone that's listening to this can currently like, fuck, I just listened to this. The last episodes were some of the Blade episodes. So like, the last few episodes
were decent.
The last few episodes is when Morbius came back, and then Blade got in the mix, and then Felicia was Black Cat. Felicia left with Morbius.
The Black Cat stuff was pretty good. That was the start of the season.
Yeah, that was the start of the season. So there was some good stuff, but I think that's up there in the upper echelon stuff. So I really liked it. I guess my one complaint is I liked everything that happened in this episode. I felt that maybe it was a tad rushed, and I almost wish this was a two-parter. I think they could have got another 22 minutes out of it, because I think Peter versus Harry as Goblin can be its own episode, and then Punisher looking for Mary Jane versus Peter, Spider-Man, Goblin can be its own episode. I think that's very similar to what I know you guys didn't love it, but like Man Spider. But that's how it was, right? It was like he's turning into Man Spider, it's this big build-up, then at the end of the episode he turns into, then it's Punisher trying to take down Kraven. I think this one needed that a little bit to be, this is I think a very good episode. I don't think it's in the great episode as far as the top echelon of maybe like the Venom, the X-Men one. Like,
not a double thumb up.
Yeah. No, I think it's in that B tier there, but it's a very strong B tier. I just think it could have used another 22 minutes. Not because this was bad, it's just that the Harry turning the Goblin, which I guess classic. He's like Waluigi or Luigi. He always gets the back end. Like, no, you're just gonna get a one episode. That's it. But like the Harry character, like that is a big thing. Him turning into Goblin, right? And he goes through a lot in just one episode to being depressed, alone, becoming the Goblin, finding out that's his father, going insane, and then going to prison. That's a lot to happen in 22 minutes of a person's life.
I mean, you're right.
Mm-hmm. So, but other than that, I think it was all great stuff. I'm excited to talk about some little things here and there that stand out. But yeah, where did you want to start with this?
Well, I guess we can start right at the beginning.
Yep.
I guess it kind of starts with like that little bit of I guess that part where Harry's kind of getting turned, but then it goes right into the Punisher thing, and he's standing over his own grave, and he's monologuing. It kind of gives like some backstory justification for why he does what he does, and pretty much it comes down to like, you know, since he lost his life, his existence, he kind of has turned and wants to help other people, and that's why he's helping. I always forget the
Anna
name.
Watson.
Anna?
Yeah.
That doesn't feel right, but I believe you.
Yeah.
So then it kind of justifies why he's helping her, and he's helping her obviously to find MJ who went missing. So it's just a fun way to connect all the characters, and you know, Punisher with another character who we haven't seen before, kind of connect them and intertwine it into the story. And yeah, so I don't know, I like that backstory for Punisher.
I want to go back to Harry. I'm still confused how Goblin's talking to him, because even in this Wikipedia synopsis, it goes back and forth.
Because it's not really his dad, right?
Is it not? Because I don't know, because the way
Green Goblin's kind of like this entity, some sort of ghostly, like entity, like not, and then obviously it kind of just takes over someone's body, and then it kind of becomes them, sort of like Venom, I guess.
Because at first they play it off like it's almost like the way you remember when Norman gets when he gets the juice and then he starts getting talked to. That I understood. This was almost like Spider-Man 2 and 3, my problems of like, how is he talking to him? But okay, then they
maybe it's kind of like, and this is kind of a weird random spoiler, kind of like Ant-Man and Wasp, kind of how I can't think of any characters' names, Scott Lang and
or Janet, sorry.
Yeah, Janet kind of have like this like quantum entanglement because of, I don't know, some sort of power or something. And I guess maybe that has something to do with it, but instead the connection is obviously Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn, because they're, I don't know, I don't really understand like the Green Goblin essence, really, I guess.
Well, that's because that's what I'm trying to figure out this whole episode, because then at one point they kind of make it sound like he's using like the teleporter thing, and that he's just in another dimension, he's talking to Harry. So I was like, okay, he's talking to him there, but then other times he comes off very like Jiminy Cricket and fake, and I feel like they never really planned it. But then in the end, when Mary Jane is back, the Goblin's like, you gotta shove Goblin in his world, and he's like, "Arr!" Like,
yeah,
so
that I don't understand how MJ gets back.
No, and they don't explain that at all. She
kind of just
back.
She's the one for what.
Yeah, so I won't. They don't really give a clear answer for how Goblin's talking. I guess
maybe it's because she's the first one who went into that portal, into that world.
Maybe
the first one who comes out.
So
yeah, I mean, I guess that's that. I guess you're right. Those are some things they could have talked about in, if it was a two-parter. They could have, you know, gone in a little more detail on that. But I don't know. I was still fine with it, and I feel like they got pretty creative with. I think it was first. I don't even know what was the first thing Harry was looking at that like made him see the Green Goblin in it. It was like some vase or something, right?
Oh, I thought it was like the canisters of the juice.
Okay, yeah.
Of the Goblin juice, because
it was the Goblin juice.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was something, because I know he sees him. I know he sees him in the mirror. Classic.
That's like the second one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might just be like a vase or something.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I kind of discounted that just because I have so much fun with these Goblin episodes.
Right? Yeah. For some reason, so we talked about this a little bit, because obviously, so last time they left the relationship, Peter and Harry was their best friends. Mary Jane was with Peter or with Harry, And then, she broke with Peter, went with Harry, and then Peter got her back, and he stole my girl, and Harry fucking hated his guts.
Yeah.
And then, I think the last time we saw him, he was like crying, and like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do without Mary Jane? Like, they even kind of show that in this. And then, like, in this episode, it just starts with, like, with a big explosion, like, Peter showing up with pizza and stuff like that. Like, Peter has a strange way of treating his best friends. They're quite a bit of an on and off relationship, so I just had to shout that out.
It's always been just a very bizarre friendship. I mean, it's
probably the least written.
It's one of those things that we didn't get to see what makes them such good friends. Obviously, it's some sort of childhood connection that makes them have some eternal bond.
I can't remember, but I thought they had met in this series. That's I can't remember so
I thought they started as roommates though.
No, they become roommates.
They become roommates.
Yeah. So I think they might have, but I don't know. I don't even think the show clarifies it. I think that's just up for us to debate.
Harry just gets cut from every episode.
So there's like this big explosion, and then so Peter he's turned to Spider-Man, and he's fighting with the Green Goblin on the rooftop. It really sounded like he wanted to kill Green Goblin. Like, he was just like, oh, Norman, I've been waiting to see you. But that to me didn't make any sense. Oh, he said, I've been waiting to get my hands on you, maybe just to beat him. But that didn't make any sense because when we last time saw these two characters, he was going to kill Goblin, but then he decided, no, I'm going to try and save him. It didn't go well. He ended up in the portal. But now it's like he's had time to ruminate on it. He's like, no, I'm going to kill him. Like, I don't know. I was caught off guard by that. Like,
the passage of time does some crazy things to Peter.
So you think he was going to try to kill him now?
I didn't get that vibe.
Okay.
No.
He just sounds so angry.
He is worked up sometimes. I don't know. It's a confusing time for him, and he's in a different mental state than he's ever been with MJ gone. You know?
And Felicia just left him for Morbius, which
that's rough.
That can't be
for some creepy vampire.
Yeah, that's not a good blow to yourself.
Plasma, and she'd rather be with him.
Well, she has lots of plasma. What was I going to say? I really liked all the Goblin Harry back and forth. Anytime, I have some quotes after I'll throw it, but anytime, whether it was the beginning or in the middle, when Harry was still kind of trying to fight him off, and he's like, you're not as good as the Goblin. Because I'm not the Goblin. Like, I'm not this and I'm trying my best and everything like that. Even like Goblin is constantly kind of berating him, not telling him it's not
get more bombs.
That's like one quote I have when he's like, oh, I ran out of bombs, and he's like, "Oh, we ran out of bombs, did we?" And it's
just a really weird way of training him to be the Green Goblin.
Yeah. But hey, it kind of works because he does break him down eventually. And he gets super crazy. So I liked all their back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had more examples of that, but it was really enjoyable to watch that transformation, because even though it's one of those things where this is a short 20-minute show, but it still feels justified in these character changes, which is kind of funny and well done when they do that kind of stuff in this show.
One moment when so Punisher figures out, or he has a suspicion that Peter Parker, he can't figure out because he knows tied to the Mary Jane missing, it's Goblin and Goblin Spider-Man. Goblin Spider-Man, and then he's trying to figure out how Peter's all into it, and he's looking at all this stuff, and of course he finds Peter's laptop that has all these all his Goblin layers.
Tweets.
All the tweets, yeah. So he thinks he's the Goblin, and I kind of like that setup. I like that kind of cat and mouse game they play for a while. And then I have a quote when he said something about he sees the Goblin, and then he looks at Peter, and he's like, "You're not the Goblin." He goes, "Brilliant deduction, Holmes." Very good. And then Peter also says, "Oh, that must be me up there." So yeah, they had a good back and forth.
Oh man, he said that with so much sass.
Oh yeah. Oh, that must be me up there. There was quite a bit of sass on that, a lot of shade. But yeah, I like their back and forth because I can't remember too much of Punisher's OG episodes, but I don't think we got much interaction with him and Peter. It was more Spider-Man, Spider, and Craven. I don't think he was after Peter or.
Well, because who was it when Punisher was around? There was a third guy in those episodes.
It was Craven.
It was Craven.
Yeah, because Craven the Hunter can take down the Man-Spider, and they beat him in that sewer and everything like that.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think he had much interaction with Peter. There could have been a scene of grilling and you take pictures of Spider-Man. That was, I think it was season 2, so it was 2 seasons ago. But I liked their little interactions, and I like Peter kind of getting. It's kind of like a Dexter thing where you got your dokes kind of after you a little bit. It's very minor because there's one scene and then right away Goblin shows up and he's blowing stuff up, so it kills the tension. But that's even what I almost would like that to go a little further. Maybe him following Peter Parker around, but for what was in it, I liked it. So.
Yeah, it It was more just like, there's a couple scenes of Peter's like, oh, my spider sense is acting up, but I don't know who's following me. And it's just, yeah, there's not really any interaction there. But I like the, eventually what, obviously, Harry kind of gets taken over. He's not really himself anymore. But I like the reason that he eventually, like, uses to justify becoming the Green Goblin. That's that he wants to impress his father when he finds out. So I don't know. I thought that was like a fun, like, good reason. Like, that was well done. It makes sense. It all fits with like even though I talked about at the start how little development Harry gets. That's like that fits with like all the things we've seen from him in the past.
Yeah, that's a through.
He's always had like that big connection with his father, obviously.
Mm-hmm. There's a moment where there's one moment where he's just roaming around New York without a mask and he's just looking completely crazy. I like that they gave him like he has like these big bags all of a sudden. I like that he was just uber crazy. And there's that moment at the end when they're at Parker's house and he's like Punisher has him in those like electric like rings or wraps and just he's like singing to himself and he just looks completely nuts, and it's fantastic. There's one line I thought they were almost breaking the fourth wall because Spider-Man's chasing after him while he's on the glider, and he's like, we were friends, and he's like, friends is what we were, and it's like, pretty much sums up their entire relationship because, like, yeah, I don't know if you could classify them as friends. I don't know if they ever meant that or it's just kind of, just a coincidence.
They probably did.
But no, it's just a coincidence because...
Maybe probably different writers or something.
Yeah, just a coincidence because, yeah, I wouldn't classify them as friends, but the show constantly tells you that they're best friends, so... Yeah.
I like that they obviously fits into the story as well, and MJ coming back, sort of. I mean, they don't really explain that, but it's cool that they the culminating fight at the end is them back on that bridge, that iconic bridge that we've seen so many times, and even comes back next episode for something completely unrelated. But yeah, I mean, it's cool that it comes back, and yeah, even though MJ, we don't really know how she came back, it would make sense that she would come back in that particular kind of area. Well, actually, that's not where she comes back.
She
comes
back shows
later.
up at the house.
But I feel like that's when she gets brought back.
Yeah.
Actually, we see a scene of her, like, respawning or something.
She like pokes her head out somewhere. Yeah, and it makes sense that's in a Goblin episode too, because that's who killed her off. Yeah, they don't really explain it, but I kind of just roll with it. I'm like, okay, she's back. Felicia just left.
Oh yeah, then she gets saved by Punisher, right?
Yeah.
If she like turns up on shore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Punisher.
Mm-hmm. He did. I wonder what he told Anna. I guess the Goblin had her.
Yeah, I mean, he probably didn't say I just found her in the water.
Yeah.
That wouldn't really make any sense at all.
And then Peter is vindicated, because Anna's always...
What do you think MJ tells Anna? Because obviously we never ever see that scene, but what do you think?
Whatever Punisher told Anna, I feel like the same thing. I feel like the easy go is to, Goblin held me captive for... Once again, we never know how long these are, but I'll say months. He held me captive for months in these same clothes, so...
Indeed. She wouldn't change her clothes unless... I guess maybe she does change her clothes, but her closet's just full of the same thing.
Well, she does have a different change of clothes in one episode coming up. It's quite the outfit.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
You got anything else to say on the Return of Green Goblin?
Not really, I don't think so.
No,
that's about it all. I made these notes months ago, and so
I
had them up as I was watching, and I was like adding a couple things, but like... There's a couple of these things I'm reading, and I'm like, I have no idea what this means.
It's so funny when I put quotes right on, then maybe I miss it, or there's something where I'm like, what did that mean? Yeah, because I had the same thing. These were notes from months ago, and I add stuff. I always like when I go to add something, and it's already there. I'm like, oh, good, we're on the same page, past trash. But there were a couple times like, I don't know what this is referring to.
Like, is this a different man? Who wrote this stuff?
Yeah,
it's very messy.
I'm going to give this episode a thumb and a half. Not the
thumb and a half.
A thumb and a half, yeah. Like I said, I really enjoyed
I'm not going to be a cool guy. I'm just going to give it a thumb.
Oh, wow. Not a cool guy.
Sorry, your justification, if you want.
No, like I said, I think could have been a little longer and I could have got me there. There's a few things I want some more explained. And also I want more of Harry because I'm pretty sure that, like, this is going to be a big spoiler, but I don't think we see much Green Goblin ever again. I think that storyline's kind of wrapped up for now. I think there might be an appearance, but season 5 is like
I'm curious to see if Norman comes back.
Season 5 is like an Avengers type of movie where it's like a lot of characters in it and there's one big arc that's not really a New York thing. It's like saving the world.
I saw that season 5 has like a title for it again.
6 Forgotten Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
instead of the
and then the Spider Wars and then the Secret Wars. So
yeah. Oh fuck yeah!
There's a lot of things going on, but yeah, I think that honestly might be, unless I'm wrong, and I didn't even have to look it up, but unless I'm wrong, I think that is. I think there's maybe one episode, but
I'm sure Harry pops up. No, actually, because I guess we didn't talk about that, but at the end of this episode, Punisher obviously had locked up Harry. And he's just completely loopy, like he's not even himself anymore at all.
By the way, I'm completely wrong. There is one episode that wraps up this whole thing in season 5. So I saw one test. So there is one thing, and I completely forgot about it. But so I was wrong. That's what Wikipedia is.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to see if what happens to Harry if he becomes uninsane somehow, or if like it just isn't talked about and then he's like normal again, or if he just stays crazy.
I think you'll get an answer soon. Maybe next week. Perhaps. So, yeah. The Haunting of Mary Jane Watson. After a brief fight with Mysterio, Peter learns that Mary Jane finally got her big break in recreating a movie role that made famous by an actress named Miranda Wilson. However, it was a trap set by Miranda, who survived the accident of filming her own movie. Mysterio had taken on his supervillain identity to gather funds to rebuild her body as a cyborg. However, Miranda had the
This episode is fucking crazy.
It really is. Miranda had mistaken the assumption that machine her to transfer her body into a mind, or transfer her mind into a body similar to hers, Mary Jane. Unfortunately, this was never to be. Unable for the world to see what she become of her, Miranda starts the self-destruct sequence for the studio, while Mysterio chooses to die with her, watching from a distance. Spider-Man removes his mask in front of Mary Jane. This is another packed episode. This episode that I enjoy a lot of it, and then I dislike a lot of it. I like all the MJ and Spider-Man stuff. I like this is our last Spider-Man MJ episode with her not knowing until the end, because also we had a lot of that, and feel like season 1 and 2, a lot of episodes with Felicia and MJ with Spider-Man, and they didn't know. And I always like those episodes because they had such a different dynamic with Peter and then had such a different dynamic with Spider-Man. And I like that this was kind of like a send-off of, you're never going to get this type of episode again, right? Of like, oh, thanks, Spider-Man. Like, oh, I'm with somebody. Sorry. Like, that sort of deal. Like, she's attracted to him, but she really loves Peter. That I liked. I like the Mysterio actual fight scenes. Like, they go through a lot of crazy set pieces. You got cameos from the Insidious 6. You got Carnage and Venom popping up in there.
Yeah.
I hate everything to do with Miranda and her whole subplot. And when I did this months ago, I didn't this time, but I was like, there's a character kind of similar to her, but I'm like, this character's off. Like, what else is she in? I looked up, she was made for this anime show, and she's never been anything else. So, you got people,
this actress lady?
Yeah, Miranda Wilson. So, you got characters, like Harley Quinn or X-23, these great characters that created and animated, and they brought over comics into movies. Miranda Wilson didn't join those ranks, and it's for a good reason. So, this episode is very 50-50 for me. I'm a huge Mysterio fan. But I don't know if I needed Mysterio, the love story. But I like the action stuff, and I like Spider-Man and MJ, and obviously we'll talk about. But we got the big reveal at the end.
Big reveal.
Definitely, except for the last episode, these 4 episodes do feel like a closing to a season. Like, they feel like they're like in other shows how you're building up to something. That's what it is. Like, MJ gets back, there's a reveal, she's
a couple like storylines kind of get closed out.
Yeah. So other than we'll talk about the finale of the season, this felt like, okay, we're getting to an end point. So I liked that. So
I fucking love this episode.
Really? Despite how fucking crazy it is?
That's why, because I found myself just like laughing for like minutes at a time, because the pacing is crazy for some sections, like so fast, so much is going on. There's so much crazy shit in this episode. The Miranda storyline is so stupid, but it's so bonkers. Cheesy, and it fits perfectly because Mysterio, obviously the show is very cheesy, and it's supposed to be, but Mysterio is like the epitome of cheese within the show. So to give him like an equally like cheesy end to his storyline, as well as like some really cheesy love story. I just loved how over the top this episode was. And, as with any Mysterio episode, there's always some really fun, like, just action scenes, like you said, and just, like, cool little set piece things. And I love that it starts with just, like, this random pirates ball, like, just some super weird theme.
Stupid.
Like, I loved how over the top this episode was, and it just... And the
Stop
thing is,
taking
like,
pictures of me, Parker!
Like, it has the pacing. Some of these episodes...
Fair enough.
Even though it's only 20 minutes, can be, like, a really a slog, especially these 4 episodes I've watched like a second time now. In the recent couple months, the next 2 episodes did not age so well. Whereas this one, I watched it again and was like loving every second.
I'll give you that. I didn't love every second of it, but it didn't feel like it was too slow. I'll give it that. I thought the pacing was good. I agree with you that the show is cheesy.
There is a lot of like story problems and character and like not really well written characters.
No,
but I don't know. I didn't care about that. I just was having fun.
Yeah, the whole Miranda thing was just too. It was just too weird for me. I don't know why. I know we live in a world with Venom and Doc Ock and all that stuff, but it was just so weird. And then I guess so. Does that mean the entire time we've known Mysterio, he has been with Miss Miranda?
Oh yeah.
Tough for me to buy. So in my notes, I liked Jonah the pirate. He was just a little,
He was so salty about that pirate ball.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught this, but obviously, so we got a nice Kingpin cameo, always behind the scenes, working on stuff, Mysterio's proposing stuff to him. Did you see the 3D model they made of Spider-Man?
Oh my god. There's another one too. I love those 3D models. They were so bad. They were so bad.
One, it looks just bad like the animation. But 2, they don't get the design right of Spider-Man.
No,
his arms and the whole chest are red, and that's just like his ab line is blue or stuff like that. Like
color scheme is like way off.
Oh yeah, so I wish there was like a breaking the fourth wall, like those two, and then just Smythe rolling out, just being like, "Hey, he doesn't look like that." Like it just looks. It's weird that it would happen. Maybe it's just so cheap, like effects wise, for budget reasons. They had to like.
They were just trying stuff out, man. Yeah.
It just looks so wonky, so I had to shut that out.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I like that that quote from Jameson right at the start. They're like going on this bridge. It's like a fake, weird Mysterio bridge. Your blundering is gonna get us sliced into fish bait. Just a classic Mysterio line, and I love how so Spidey obviously the way this episode starts is everyone's at this pirate themed ball. And there's like treasure and like everyone's dressed up and stuff.
That was an option for the murder mystery part was pirates, and I said no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of an implication to it. Anyway, yeah. So there's classic some like skeleton robots dressed as pirates come out and start like messing people up and taking the treasure. And then Peter, who's at this party taking photos, Jameson's getting mad for him taking photos, switches to Spidey and like saves the day. And so he's like very much helping Jameson and Jameson only, and then he's just as per usual yelling at Spidey, claiming that Spidey is here to steal all the treasure. I'm like, what? Jameson, of all the crazy accusations you've had at Spidey that have no grounding whatsoever, that one's up there.
That's what happens when your wife gets gunned down in front of you.
Oh god, I forgot about that scene.
Yeah.
One of the most graphic scenes.
Go back to season 1. Yeah, obviously this was where months ago I put like Miranda Wilson not a character in the comic books. I was a little salty, but maybe the writer shouldn't create anything non the comic books because that's what they come up with. I don't really want any more of that. But
I mean, there's so many characters you can pull from. Even if you change their stories, it's like you got a lot to draw from.
Yeah, like the appearances of Carnage, Venge, because I always like seeing those symbiote motherfuckers.
Yeah, and then and then who is it? Chameleon and Scorpion
and Doc Ock.
They're as like are they?
I think they're just robots.
Yeah, those are just robots. Were Carnage and
yeah, they're robots too because Carnage at one point shot.
I mean, Venom's like gone or dead or something.
They're in like a different dimension. Yeah.
Classic.
Carnage at one point shot stuff out of his arms and it was like robot webbing and stuff. Yeah. So I miss real Carnage. I know.
But that is.
I want the voice.
It's cool that those guys all made an appearance. Mysterio's always a fun guy.
There's a quote that I have when Miranda realized that she tries to go do the thing to Mary Jane to switch minds. Mysterio's saying, "Oh, don't do this," and he says, "You can't, Miranda." And then Miranda says, "Oh, to the contrary, I must." And then she hits the button, and
it's a classic.
There's an explosion going off, and
just so cheesy.
She looked pretty fucked up though, Like I understand her motivation wanting to get into a new body because there's not much you can do. Like literally, it's just like I think her hand was fine, and then like half of her face. I don't know what was really left of her even to be living. So.
Well, I don't think. I mean, her goal was eventually, to steal someone's corpse.
No, I know. I'm just saying for all those years, that must have been tough, And like Mysterio's, it's not getting any action as far as I would know. So he really loves her,
Well, Mysterio, he could probably get some crazy action if he wanted to with all his inventions and holograms and stuff.
I don't even want to think about that.
I don't want to either. Anyway, so there's at one point in the episode, I don't think it's right at the beginning there, but Spidey through Mysterio gets put into like this little like, you know, world, this hollow cube world. And his puzzle to get out is to, you know, go the right way. And so it's like, it's just like a bunch of buildings. There's like, which one of these isn't right? An exclusive club, an overpriced hair salon, a trendy restaurant, and a neighborhood deli. It's just so cheesy. And then of course his the way he breaks that puzzle is, give me a break, Beck. You got to go another 30 blocks to find a good deli over 66th Street. It's just I fucking love that so much.
I have a quote at the very end of this episode, because this is when they like dress Mary Jane up in whatever she's supposed to be wearing for the movie or whatnot. But after Miranda decides to kill herself and Mysterio stays, whole thing's blowing up, Spider-Man and Mary Jane get blown up, they land in the water, and then Mary Jane, who, you know, who's been nice these few episodes, but, you know, always self-centered as usual. Oof. There goes my film debut, up in smoke. And she's like, man, even though it's a villain, there's a man and a woman that just lost their life in an explosion. We almost died. You almost got your body sucked up. And you're still still focused on your fucking film career. Like,
no, being in another dimension didn't stop her from wanting to be an actress.
No, not at all. And then, obviously, I have one big note, but unless you have any others, I won't.
I got a couple of things, I guess. We get some backstory for Mysterio.
As well.
Backstory for Mysterio. You know, he was doing some special effects for a movie.
Yeah.
And he messed up and crashed a helicopter. And then Spidey saved the day. Miranda obviously went missing, quote unquote.
Portals.
But then, you know, Beck got thrown into prison for that. And I guess that explains why he's been after Spidey a little bit in the past. And I mean, even though I guess, not because of the Miranda thing, but I guess for getting thrown into prison, rather.
Yeah.
Even though he definitely fucked up and crashed a helicopter on the movie set, so I don't know.
That's his fault.
At one point they're like, okay, so I just love that so Miranda, you know, her body is deformed after this incident, so she flees because she's an actress and can't have this bad image. And the place she goes...
Was it just her face, though, at first?
It was just like a bit of her face, I think. And then she, like, amputated the rest of her body, essentially. It's a pretty intense story. But I thought it was so overly cheesy and crazy that she goes through these sewers and finds, like, these catacombs under the movie studio. Like, that's just such a wild idea. Like, the fact that anyone came up with that, it makes me so happy. Like, oh, where is she gonna go? The catacombs under a movie studio. I just thought that was brilliant, right?
You know, you could thank Jordan Kent and you can thank Meg McLaughlin, John Semper, and Virginia Roth.
Thank you so
the
much.
Guys and gal that wrote those. So
that's some fantasy they have as a writer. I love at one point Spidey's like fighting like probably in those catacombs under a cave or something. He just like rips a stalagmite out of the ground, just this giant rock, and then throws it in the most inefficient way ever. Like, obviously it's pointed, you know, like the tip of a spear, but instead of like throwing it as such, he just like lobs it in the most awkward way. It's like, you know, you got super strength, so that's great, but like, come on, man, what are you doing here? Another quote from Spidey: I just hope this action adventure movie doesn't turn into a disaster film. Just a beautiful, cheesy line. Yeah, and then I guess so Mysterio, as a lure to get Mary Jane, uses vision of her dad.
It was actually a puppet. What was the vision? But at one point when she
gets
to the
studio... But at one point he's like floating in midair.
Maybe it's a bit of both. Because at one point when she gets to the studio, which has to be one of the most dramatic things she's probably ever seen, there's like a robot of her dad like all strung up and everything like that. So maybe they use a little twofer, but that must be...
Or maybe he was using that as like his model for the
so he made
the holocube thing.
Sure, it could have been.
It's a prototype.
Either way, pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, Mysterio, like, honestly, very smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very smart. I wonder what he could have done if he didn't end up going to prison.
Or falling in love, you know.
Or falling in love with a very, very crazy human being.
There's a great quote in The Great Gatsby from Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays Jay Gatsby. He says, you know, I'd be a great man if I never fell in love. That'd be Mysterio. Mm-hmm. That'd be Mysterio.
You know, and here's another point for Mysterio being so smart. Spidey goes to prison to put a tracker, spider tracker on him. takes it apart, uses that to make his
hollow cubes,
or whatever the fuck he uses to get out of there. You know, very smart guy, and that's like nanotech. So the fact that he can do that without tools is just wow. Impressive. What a guy. Mary Jane gets ripped into another whirlpool, so she does not have good luck with
water
dimensional
in general
things.
too.
That the 3D renders.
Ex-boyfriend. Hydro Man. Not
okay, what was your thing that you were gonna...
Obviously, I want to talk about the big reveal. So Spider-Man decides to take his mask off. We get a little bit of it in the... It'll probably transition a bit into the Lizard King episode, but there's not much else to talk about there. So were you surprised? Did I catch you off guard? Obviously, I know that you rewatched, so maybe you had an idea, but when you initially saw it...
you know, it actually seemed about time. I think MJ just got back. Peter obviously super excited, and I think he's ready to tie that knot, obviously. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think it was perfect timing.
Because I got to pull a quote from the next episode. He said, I want to marry you, which I know we're going to talk about, because I wasn't quick enough before. What does that even mean? That's not how, like I get what he's trying to say, but they were barely even dating, and, like, they were such an on and off again thing. Like, he's just going to jump right to marrying her or not. But I understood, because she came back from the dead, right? And you don't get many chances. So I feel like if you had a girl you're on again, off again with, and she died and she came back, maybe that's a sign of being like, maybe I should marry her before she goes into another world.
I don't know, but she calls him Tiger, and that just clearly revs his...
I would like it if a girl called me Tiger, you know?
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be. I've never had a cool nickname like that.
No. And that's like...
Which makes me mad, because I've given girls cool nicknames that I've dated, but I've never got a nickname. They just resort to Trav, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be called that. And even then, like, I have someone that's a friend now that's like a newer friend, and they're starting to call me Trav. And
no, they think they're in that territory where they...
No one's in that territory. I'm in the territory where they're too new, and I don't want to hurt their feelings to tell them, like, hey, I fucking hate that name. Like, only my mother calls me Trav, and I let her do it, but I hate just Trav. There's somebody I just dislike, but I can't...
It does sound... I guess... I never thought about it, because obviously it doesn't emotionally affect me as much as it affects you. Mm-hmm. But it does sound slightly douchey, perhaps.
It does, and I don't want to be a Trav, you know?
Because, like, I feel like Trav could be good friends with, like, a Chad, and then that
100%.
Like
he's at the golf court doing some coke in the
At the golf court?
Yeah.
He would be the guy that's up at a golf course.
That's what I'm calling it, right? Golf court? What is
It'd be a golf course.
Golf course.
Or like a basketball court.
That's the douche. We've invented a golf court, actually. Only Trav, Chad, and Michael are to join us.
You say Michael?
Yeah.
Why is Michael getting put in with those names? I don't think that's fair.
The second.
Okay, there you go.
My brother, I don't get along with my brother, but he does have a pretty sick... I wish my dad named me after him, because my dad named my brother Michael, and he has to be called Michael the second. I wish I was Travis the second. You just sound like royalty, you know?
Dylan the second just sounds stupid, so I'm not going to...
But Dylan the third sounds great.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, I
think... So you screw over the person in the middle.
I think it fit. I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head that it's about time for it, and it's good because we got a last season coming up and everything like that.
Yeah.
There's a big thing. Also, they're getting married, so that's a big thing. So I think it's the next step too, because what else were they gonna do? Just this kind of back and forth at this point. They've done it all. Felicia's in the picture.
She's out of there.
She's getting her plasma.
Silvermane's daughter was clearly quite sus. So.
Yeah. What's her
Deborah's like doing crack now. So.
Yeah, taking a little flash, which strange decision. And then what the fuck is the other blonde who's like was with at the beginning of the Harry episode? She was with Liz Allen, right?
Liz Allen,
yeah, who's a love interest in Homecoming, so it's weird. But yeah, Liz, same thing. She's nobody. So this is time for him to settle down. So I think it was a good time.
Oh, I mean he's getting older, you know.
Oh yeah.
How at this point in the show, how many years have passed? Do you think? Probably like 2 or 3.
I don't know, because sometimes it feels like...
Sometimes, actually, it could be less than that.
Sometimes when it feels like months have passed, a character will say something that's been like days, and then sometimes when it's days, they've been like, oh, I haven't felt this way in months. And so I have no idea. Like, it's very much like only hardcore Grey's Anatomy fans will get this. It's like the first 3 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. They portray it as like it's 3 years, but then like in the 3rd season, really low ball. They just quickly offshoot mention that all 3 seasons take place in 1 year, the entirety. And you're like, The amount of shit that happened this one year is impossible. Like, the hospital gets bombed, there's a shooter, this woman goes through multiple men. Not even like from like, oh, she's a slut, like, not like that. It's just like ridiculous, like the arcs that she goes through. So this show easily could take place in a year. I don't think so, but like,
I mean, they look the exact same.
They do look the exact same. I would say something like 2 to 3 years.
That sounds
Even though
fair.
it's 4 seasons, you could see a couple of those. Like, I can't remember after every season finale and season premiere, but I could imagine one of those picked up right away after.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I think after MJ...
I feel like 4 to 5 probably is pretty quick after.
Oh, 4 to 5, I think I meant 4 to 5 years.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet.
But yeah, I 4 to 5 is very quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'll give this episode a thumbs up. I like the Mysterio stuff, I like the set pieces, but the Miranda stuff did not. It was close to the middle, but I like Mysterio. So, and I like the MJ and Spider-Man stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give it 1 thumbs up as well.
Oh, I thought you'd be going higher because you loved how cheesy it was.
Whatever, yeah, pretty much.
Whatever. The Lizard King. Peter proposes, Mary Jane accepts. Much to Anna Watson's discomfort, Mary Jane and Peter ask Kirk Connors to give Mary Jane away at the wedding when they are interrupted by 3 giant lizards who claim the Doc is their father and kidnap him and Mary Jane. They're taken down the sewer. With Spider-Man in pursuit, Doc becomes the lizard again. This is a fucking wacky episode. This is an episode that always, there's episodes like this all the time. Rocket Racer, ones that come out and remind me, you know what, they did have an audience and this was just for kids. So I look at it from a kid's standpoint. I'm sure a kid would love this episode. A bunch of lizards, lots of monsters for Spider-Man to beat up, and you get the original lizard back. The stuff I like in these episodes is it's very small. So stuff we'll talk about with the wedding and stuff with planning and Anna Watson and stuff like that. But the Lizard King stuff was all pretty boring, and I know that, like, it's funny, like, to me, Lizard is always, I've always liked him better. I remembered him fondly, and now watching these back, I don't like his episodes as much as solo episodes. I like when he's been a part of other episodes.
Yeah, he's a nice character to have around.
I've always remembered really liking him in the comics, so this has kind of been like a shell shock for me of watching a series, and like, anytime Lizard pops up, I'm kind of like, eh. And then when this popped months ago, so it's like, okay, Lizard King, like, I get he does take over the sewer in some comics, so this could be fun. And I've liked that before, but this is just, one, it was a weird episode, but 2, it was very much like the last Mysterio one, where it's just very, very cheesy. Yeah. And it was, then again, though, a kid could enjoy this, but for me, it was quite a slog to get through.
Yeah, no, I didn't really enjoy this episode. There's not really a whole lot of intrigue there because, you know, Connors, he's a cool character, but we don't really see him, right? We just kind of see Lizard, and
he's passed out a lot in this episode. He's knocked down, always like brought to places. So
and there's like one kind of the lizards that kind of stands out. What's her name? Hella.
I don't think it's Hella, but I don't remember.
I wrote down Hella.
Okay, maybe it is Hella.
I don't know.
Hella the wizard.
The wizard.
Wizard Hella.
She's the only one that really has like a personality, really. And it's not really that interesting. In fact, it's almost entirely completely boring. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot to this episode. I guess.
No, I did not.
It's kind of funny to see like what's happening with Deb.
Yeah,
and it's cool that she helps out. In making the or what does she do again? She like makes like doesn't she make one of those things, or is it just the wife that throws like one of Connor's like supply ones out?
I legitimately watched this episode 2 hours ago, and I cannot answer this question for you.
I can't remember what it is, but yeah, no.
I know this episode's like some of the worst review ever, but that's just telling me how forgettable.
It happens when you watch like multiple episodes. It can be like, you know, stuff kind of gets gelled together. This episode kind of brings up one thing that's it's like it's interesting from like a world building perspective, because think about, like, obviously New York's a crazy fucking place. Like, there's catacombs under movie studios.
Why are people living
villains,
in New York at this
point?
There's
tons of villains like that are just all absolutely crazy.
Spaceships
but to me,
crashing.
This one's like the craziest of all, because what it shows is that there's just a fucking civilization of hundreds of lizards living in the sewers of New York. And to me, that's just wild. And it really blows the socks off of like what's possible in this world and what we've known of this world, because that has like some pretty big repercussions on like what's happening. That like this takes the show and dips it into like a world of high fantasy, which I think is cool. It reminds me of like the Argonians. Reminds me of the Argonians and the Elder Scrolls, But this is like
it's still powered by science, though, right? That's how it started. Was his experiment, so it's not complete fantasy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. There's
some backbone to it.
It's just.
It's wild.
It's just wild.
Yeah.
It's wild, but unfortunately it's not wild like the Mysterio episode was wild and was really entertaining because the episode's kind of boring around that.
And again, because, we say it's all the time in this kid's show, but we hold the show to a high standard because there's some episodes here that are very high quality and some adult storylines. Yeah, there's some kind of kiddie ones, but for me it's so wild that it's too wild to believe that all this has been happening and now they just decided to come out and I feel like we've even been in the sewers a few times here and there and this doesn't happen and then I think the payoff is just kind of
like I feel like there could have been another character or two in this episode and like obviously shift a few things around to make it so there's like another storyline going on as well.
Yeah.
Because I like at a base level like some of the stuff that happens for the characters. I like that Deb comes to help out and I like that Connors gets approached as like the father figure for Peter. I kind of like that.
I do.
We don't know anything about Peter's family other than May. It's like not a thing at all. And so I like that there's kind of a little bit of that because he doesn't really have many people. He had Harry, they were best friends again, but now he's in the loony bin. Obviously he's going to have MJ, but I mean, even Anna's not like a family member to him. Like she still fucking hates his
Matt Murdock, great lawyer he had one time.
Okay,
I guess I'll give you that because for me and
I like that his wife comes to save him. It's like it's not that interesting in itself though. That's why it's like I would like if that was things that happened in an episode where other stuff was going on as well.
I guess for me, with the Connors being like a father figure, that's what threw me off when Mary Jane literally says like you're like a father to him. And I don't know, we see...
Is that much more of a stretch than him and Harry being friends, though? Right?
No, I believe that more over than Harry. Yeah, it does fit. And I guess in the context of the show, I just feel like anytime we see them together, just talking science. And maybe that's the father relationship he wants, but I never got that vibe from him until she says that. But honestly,
I feel like he goes to him whenever he has problems.
But it's always like scientific problems. It's never been like, hey, I can't decide between these two girls, right? Or something like that. Fatherly advice. But I would believe more so...
Yeah, on the side, he's like, yo, fuck MJ. And that's why it's like really awkward for Peter when he's like standing there and MJ's like, you
want to give her away?
He's like, I love you, man. And you gotta be part of the thing.
He's like, redheads are nuts. But what's gonna happen as far as... I do believe... him being more of a father figure than Harry being his best friend. So I'll give you that point. Yeah. So let me see if I got any more notes. Because I don't have any notes for both these episodes. These episodes are boring. And there's stuff that happens to him, but there's just stuff like lots of sewer walking around, lots of lizards talking about how they want to... They're king and they're our papa and our dad and stuff like that. And yeah,
we get to see... that and it's not surprising, but we get to see that MJ's aunt is pretty salty about the engagement that happens.
I got a good quote here. I'm not sure if you have the same one, but she's like, "Are you really sure you want to do this?" And she goes, "Anna, I may have partial amnesia, but this is what I want." That right there shows, hey, we're gonna delay this wedding still. Like even though I know she loves Peter, you feel like she's even like saying I got partial amnesia. Like maybe it's for a joke, but really she wasn't saying it for a joke. I think she does have it. So it's just like let's just, and because they said they want to get married in a month. That was the other thing because she was like so soon, and I was with her too. They're just all concerned Mary Jane's gonna die and stuff like that. I got another.
Well, that's actually something we didn't talk about. Actually, it's like MJ. She doesn't know what happened to her when she was gone, really.
No, she's just like a haze.
Yeah, so... Anyway.
One thing I wanted to ask you is, so obviously this started right where the last episode picked off, where they're on the rooftop, blah, blah, blah. He's saying, no, I didn't do fast enough, and then he gets on he proposes, he gives her the spider ring, that's kind of cute with the web thing. He says that thing about it being like carbon dated or something like that, so that's fun. The thing that caught me off guard, and it still worked, is there's a moment where MJ just jumps off the building. And then he's like, Mary Jane! And then he jumps off and he gets her and she's like, he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I just want to know that you'll always be there and you are. I get
pretty wild.
It is pretty wild. Like, I imagine Spider-Man 99 out of 100 times is going to save her.
Yeah.
But what if there's one time where, Spider-Man goes to jump and he trips, but that time his web cartridge doesn't work and Mary Jane...
what if he had no cartridges?
And where... he's just sitting there watching as she falls down. Like, imagine how much you would scar him if he just had to watch you just, like, barrel down into the streets and or just splat like the other guys.
Well, it also sets a precedent like for the rest of his life. I mean, it is wild. For the rest of his life, like if they're just going on a romantic trip like Niagara Falls or something, he better bring cartridges. Like he can't just go somewhere and enjoy his time without having to worry. Because at any point, she might just fucking jump off a building.
Yeah, maybe after they see this conversation, he's like, yeah, that was really fun, but you know what? Never again. Like, you do that again.
Yeah, also, just, like, kudos to her for being that confident to be like...
Yeah. And she
like,
just
without even thinking about it, like, I'm just going to jump off this roof.
Mm-hmm. This is a prenup that if you jump and die, nothing happens. I get to keep all my money.
Yeah, seriously, he should put that in there. You know, she's has partial amnesia. You know, maybe she's a little bit crazy. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe prenup's a good idea.
When they're in Connor's lab and there's the lizards there, and Spider-Man's like, I need to change into Spider-Man, and MJ does something, and he's like, I'm a distraction. He's like, this is going better than I thought. Maybe I could use a partner. I thought that was kind of fun that she knew he needed to turn into Spider-Man. She caused distractions so no one see him change, and I liked that. That was just a cute little thing they did there, and things you can do when someone knows he's Spider-Man. So.
Yeah, no, it's fun to see that. We don't really get that too often. Just with like certain villains and stuff, right?
There's a moment where he's cornered by a bunch of lizards, and he says, "This is exactly why I got out of professional wrestling."
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What did you think of Deb being full party mode, and then Flash is like the responsible one, like that switch up?
I don't care. I'm at the point where I wish
they're
they
pretty insignificant.
Yeah, they would have just been happy, and then anytime I see them, they're just together. I would care if they were in the show more, but they're not. They appear so sporadically, and they're just here and there, so I didn't care that much. It was fine to see them again, but I think even in the next season, they're not in it that much, so I wasn't missing them.
That's about all I had for this episode.
I want to be harsh and give it the full thumbs down. I just don't know if I can because there's other episodes that I think are. I'll give it
I'm giving it a thumbs down. Fuck this episode.
I'll give it a thumbs down.
It's not fun. I don't want to watch it again.
No, we had to watch it twice. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
And Sam get a busy life.
Also, as I was watching these, because I watched on like some random website, the first 2 episodes of these 4 I watched. Perfect, no problem, no issues whatsoever. I mean, quality's kind of shit, but whatever. I got onto this episode, and then like ads started playing, and there was like 8 ads throughout this 22-minute episode, and it was the same ad every time, and like it turned this 20-minute episode, which already felt like an hour, into like I don't even know, but it was pretty rough. I felt like it was just. I was just being smited for no apparent reason.
Smited? No. There's one quote I forgot to say. At one point, they're going to argue at the end of the episode, Spider-Man and MJ, and then she kisses him, and he goes, I hope this is how all arguments end.
Good little Spidey. Peter.
Here we go. The season finale of Season 4, The Prowler. When Crime Lord Iceberg finds out that Hobby doesn't feel... I forgot that was his name. Hobby doesn't feel that he's getting a fair cut. He has his boys attempt to kill him. After narrowly escaping the fate, Hobby knows he needs to get out of town. He steals a passer's by his purse in order to fund his new trip. It turns out to be Mary Jane Watson's purse. When she and Peter are in the process of apartment hunting, but was stopped by Spider-Man, and Hobby is sent to jail for violating his parole. While in jail, he saves Richard Fisk in an attempt on his life. As payment, the Kingpin arranges a hotshot lawyer to enable Hobby's release and give him a special suit. No, he uses the costume to get back at his old boss, Iceberg. Now, to give you a little context, I think I've said this before, but I forgot. This character is who Childish Gambino / Donald Glover is in the MCU, the Prowler. Will he ever be this character?
Okay.
Probably not, but because the Prowler is the uncle of Miles Morales, and he kind of trains him a little bit because he used to be a former criminal, so he's kind of trying to be...
It's all connected.
He's trying to do better for humanity.
Prowler in the video game.
There's a chance. Yeah, there's a chance. There's a high chance we could see him. I don't know if we'll see him as Prowler. Probably just see him as this character.
Yeah.
But, so, you start, because I think I've started all these. What do you think about this episode, Dylan?
Once again, this one was pretty boring for me. I didn't really enjoy it all that much. It was better than the Lizards episode that we just watched, but not by a whole lot.
No.
So Iceberg is like this kind of the crime boss. He has a couple like kind of cheesy puns, which are alright, but overall he's kind of just not much to him. Like, he's pretty boring. Prowler, I guess his story is set up and makes sense, and like there's also the storyline where he has like this girlfriend who's like not into him, but I just found myself so uninterested in that character pretty much the whole time. I mean, I think there may have been an opportunity here for like Kingpin to have a bigger role, and that could have been fun as like a part of the season finale as well, and maybe he could have interacted with Iceberg or something. I don't know, there could have been something there, but instead I just felt like a lot of this episode was Prowler talking about his backstory and like getting some like light flashbacks of it, which I don't know, it felt like kind of weird. Like maybe if we had seen Prowler before and this was like a continuation of his story and like given some more backstory, maybe that would have been more interesting. And like I like his look and I like his powers. His powers are pretty fun to watch. And I don't know, it's sort of like him and his Iceberg storyline, but I don't know, nothing. I guess my problem with this episode is that nothing stood out. Nothing was like entertaining. The pacing wasn't necessarily great. It was kind of like a middle of the pack sort of episode. Yeah. Maybe slightly negative, but
also I was wrong. He's not. Don Glover does play a character that is Miles Morales' uncle, and it is a Prowler, but he's a different Prowler, so it's not a
There's two MC Marvel Prowlers.
Well, it's one of those, like, it gets handed down. It's a different universe Prowler. Like, so, yeah. Because I said that, and I was like, wait a second, I could be wrong. So I fact-checked myself, and that's a good thing for the internet. Yeah.
Good thing. Some people don't do that.
No. Yeah, I said something like, my mouth was hitting myself. Like, that's wrong. What I was going to say, yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, I don't have too much to add. Like, you almost took the words out of my mouth as far as saying, like, yeah, it's better than the episode that was previous, but not that much. This episode feels like they're trying to set up the Prowler series, and that doesn't happen, so I don't know. And for me, it's like, I know we always talk about this, like, they don't function this way, but in our eyes, when we do it, this is a season finale is kind of weird because it's just a Prowler episode, and it's not that exciting. It's just like, okay, he gets a suit, this is the story of this character, and I don't know, maybe in the 90s it was a bit different. I was only like 1 or 2 at this point, and then I saw these in reruns, but maybe in 94, or this would have been like 95, 90, or it was 97, maybe the Prowler was just hot at that moment, and maybe a lot of people were that excited. The Prowler's not a huge character. I don't think he ever has been. I think he's the biggest now, when he was like, he's like, the new Prowler is Miles' uncle, and even then he's not a huge character. So for me, this would make sense for a Daredevil, for a Captain America, for an Iron Man, for a Punisher, for a Kraven, and I feel like we have all those characters be in episodes of Spider-Man, and they are their origins are told, but in a few flashbacks here and there very quickly, where this is an entire episode of, maybe that's why, because they feel like characters not that exciting, we'll do an origin episode, but I didn't really care to learn how the Prowler was a thing this episode. It's just like your tale of, like, it's a criminal who's trying to do good, he gets screwed over by Iceberg, he gets sued from Wilson Fisk, he's going to go back and take out his old boss. You know, a trope we've seen many times done before. Yeah. I'm fine with doing tropes. That's Hollywood and that's storytelling. You're going to see similar stories told over, but the idea is to do something different. This is a kind of, it's a kids anime show, so I'm not expecting that from this, but as just an episode, nothing exciting, and I literally have no notes. I literally have, other than the Mary Jane Spider-Man stuff, the Prowler stuff, it's just so basic, and it's just so cookie cutter, and it's very predictable, even though, like, I'd seen the episode.
Yeah, there's no discussion to be had on it, really. It's like, he's pissed because his girlfriend left him when he was in prison. I guess he teams up with Kingpin, and then he kind of goes against Kingpin, and Kingpin takes control of the suit, kind of fucks him over. Yeah, I don't know, like, it's pretty basic stuff. What do you think of his look and his...
I like the look, actually. I think he looks really cool. I like his powers. I was going to ask you at the end of the episode, he goes like, oh, maybe there's a chance for me to get back with my girl. I don't think there's a chance, man.
That guy looked pretty spicy. I can't remember.
He's gonna turn good, but no, like, my whole thing was...
He's giving it to me.
My whole thing was, sometimes when those happen, it's kind of like... in a storyline, oh man, my girl, and you'll see the flashback of the girl, seeing the girl be like, oh, like, I just couldn't wait for you, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. But she was like, he has a real job. Like, she said that, though. Like,
and she said he has a real job. He's a real man. I don't know if she said real man, but she just said he has a real job. And she was giving him the phone like, you're pathetic, like you mean nothing, like sorry, this isn't gonna happen with him. And he's like, at the episode, he's like, maybe I'll get my girl back. And I was like, this episode is just fucking stupid and pointless.
What did you think of Iceberg?
Same thing, just kind of that lame. I don't want to.
I loved his one quote. It ain't nice to double cross the ice.
Can you?
That's more. I want more of that.
Can you please? I'm gonna run this by you again. This is only for our friends group. You know what? I'll bring this back on the next Spider-Man Retro if it happens. Don't let's having some people over Friday. If you're intoxicated enough, I'm gonna suggest you please at some point say that in the middle of the night to somebody.
Yeah. And I'll be better at it when I don't have this cold.
What is the quote again?
It ain't nice to double cross the ice.
Say that? I'm going to remind you. You're going to say it to somebody. You're going to say that, so don't delete that from your notes. It ain't nice to double cross the ice. And I'm going to watch someone's reaction and see just like, what the fuck? And I don't know, man. Yeah, he was there.
You know what I'll do? I just thought of this now. I'll be making someone a drink or something, and then without asking them, I'll go to put some ice in there, and they'll be like, no, I don't want any ice, and then I'll drop the line.
And then I'll say, he got a real job.
He got a real job.
Yeah, what do you think about Spider-Man and Mary Jane getting an apartment? That's cool. And then Peter's like, we can get a nicer place, and she's like, I want it.
She just instantly put down that lease without even knowing how much it is or anything. She just instantly went for it.
You know, she's sick and tired of having quiet sex in the bedroom. You know, Anna Watson, I'm sure she's up all the time.
She's standing right outside the door. If she hears anything, knocks on the door.
So, you know what? She wants to move out for the benefit.
I get that, but I still feel like, in New York, it's probably a pretty aggressive market. She should probably...
There's lizards everywhere.
There's fucking lizards taking up her apartment. I feel like she should really...
Hello lives next door. Hey, guys. I got a real job. I'm dating this girl. It's the Prowler's ex-girlfriend.
Iceberg's in the other apartment.
Yeah.
It ain't nice.
Shut up, Iceberg. We got it.
I feel like it'd be worth it for them to put a little bit of effort into finding a nice place, but
she's just happy. She just wants to be with Peter, and
I guess so. I guess that's all you need. I will say this episode has one of the very best quotes of the entire series, and that's from Spider-Man. Right near the end of the episodes, he said,
"It ain't nice."
He says, "I bet my webbing on it, and man, do I got webbing to bet." Something like that.
Did he say webbing?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
What did you think it was?
I think you're 100% right. I thought he said wedding, and I thought because they're getting married, he said I got a whole lot.
He's talking about his
web shooters
stuff.
Yeah,
he's got stuff.
He's got a real job.
So I thought that was pretty
spicy.
Yeah, well, that's
why MJ wants.
That's one of those things that, as a kid, you're like, I don't know what that means.
She wants that webbing, so she wants to get a new apartment. She just wants to get the fuck away from Anna. You know, who wouldn't? You know, she's just a crabby bitch. So,
well, maybe with Peter moved out, or with MJ moved out, Aunt May and Anna could move in together and be like old ladies together. Because I don't think they're getting married at this point. Anna is kind of a bitch to everything.
Anna's gonna end up with the Prowler.
Maybe she'll get an Iron Man or something.
Anna's gonna end up with the Prowler, and then Aunt May's gonna end up with Doc Ock again. You know, they're gonna go down there with old love.
Arms.
Do you have anything? It's better than one.
I got arms to spare.
You got anything else in this episode?
No, this also for me. This had less notes than the Lizard episode, which is pretty fucking nuts.
I'm gonna give it a thumb and a half down, not the full 2 thumbs down, because I think there's some episodes that are just so overly bad they deserve the 2 thumbs. But this is just for slow and boring. If you love the Prowler character, maybe you like this. If I get to see that character, that's cool. I didn't have any interest, and I think because it's also, if this was the first episode in the series, it would work better. I in this 4-block episode to be the finale. Last episode's kind of weird. I think obviously they want to build to the wedding. But I almost wish the Goblin episode was the end of it, you know? Obviously you can't because you want to bring Mary Jane back, but that was more cinematic. And usually they've tried to let me go back and see what other episodes they've ended on the finale. Turning point. So last year ended with Mary Jane dying. Big thing.
Yeah.
The final nightmare, that's when, that's the whole man
this
spider.
one's not so much a cliffhanger, it's more of a segue into the next season.
Yeah.
The only one was season 1 that had just like Dave Chameleon, but like the Final Nightmare was the last time in Fall Trigger. He turns into Man Spider and all this stuff's going on, and Tablet of Time and all that kind of shit. So yeah, most of the season finales, even though I don't know if they plan this out because this is a kid's show, like they've had bigger episodes where the Prowler, very random episode. So yeah, thumb and a half down for me.
I'm not gonna be that aggressive. I'm just gonna give it 1 thumb down.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really need to watch this episode again. I definitely will not watch it a 3rd time. Thank you very much, Kyle.
He'll come back. I want to.
Yeah, man. Like, just unfortunately, nothing. No discussion for this episode really. A couple funny quotes, but that's about it.
Yeah. So yeah, that is. I think we both know what our favorite episode with this is. Return of Green Goblin. Clearly.
You know, I think I'm actually gonna give the edge to Mysterio.
Oh my god! Really?
Yeah, because
Miranda over Harry and MJ. Miranda.
I think I can see myself watching that episode every once in a while, just because it's fucking nuts. But
shocked.
But the Green Goblin episode is also very good.
Oh, there you go.
Overall, this four-parter kind of balances out to an even meh.
Yeah.
I guess if you look at it that way.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back with season 5, the final season. What do you want from the final season? I'll give you. Have you seen the title episode for the first episode?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that a while ago.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Are you excited to see what's gonna happen? You think the wedding's gonna go off without a hitch?
Yeah, because I haven't read any. I just saw a couple of the titles of the episodes, but I didn't actually see. I tried not to read the descriptions because sometimes the descriptions tell you more than what happened in the episode. So I don't know what to expect in terms of like what characters are coming back. Obviously Green Goblin, you kind of just spoiled slightly coming back, but I'm just excited to see how this show closes out, man. Like
I will warn you as always. It
always felt like we've been so far away, but now we're like only 1 season left.
And I will always I've done this from the beginning because it's a kid's show. It does not have like a finale in the sense of a Dexter Breaking Bad where this is a fun episode, everything's closed off. I don't think it doesn't really end in a cliffhanger way, but it doesn't end in like most shows. Like the way like
I wouldn't have expected it to. Yeah.
Okay, good, because I thought to me it's a little disappointing because we'll talk about the offcast, but at the time this is being recorded, we have a fan.
We'll do like a fantasy like what would have been the best episode to end it.
Well, on our newscast when this was being filmed, someone was asking us a question of what animated episode or what animated show as a kid would you want brought back, and this has always been it because I really liked the final season. I enjoy lots of it, but I hate this and Batman animated series. They don't have full finales. Even the Batman animated show, and this is the way it worked back then. He said we didn't know if we were coming back or not, so we never did that. I think that's probably the same case with this. Like we didn't know we just wrote. And I would love to have even just a 1 hour episode of like try not to even update the graphics too much, just like close everything out. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, so we'll be back with season 5. We got about how many episodes left? We got 13 episodes to review, so that should be fun. So thank you very much for tuning in. You can find all links below, and you can catch us on the web.